And a happy St. Patrick's Day to you, a day for the wearing of the green. Okay, cool. All right. And I noticed some things online that are worth talking about. This is Emily Windsor Craig, and it is March the 17th, 2020. And online today, I've been looking around at people walking. Okay, watched Walker is walking in London and in Nice, France, and things look kind of normal. Leicester Square is a little quiet, and I'm watching our active guy walking around New York City. And New York City is a little quiet, but people are still around and out. I walked down to our local um, little market. It's like a 7-Eleven that's called New Stop. And they said that there's nothing wrong with their supply chain. But then, of course, I live here in California, somewhat in Bumfuck, Egypt. Our little town serves an Air Force base. And so we are not subject to the same kind of okay. And when I walked into the little local market, the first thing they do is have a display of toilet paper, which is now almost $1 a roll. Toilet paper is the joke of the county. Okay, everybody wants toilet paper. Okay, and so I went online to see if I could get some staples, some shopping, online, because I mostly shop online. And I was able to get what I needed. Okay, it wasn't what I preferred, but what I needed: dog food, cat food, bulk baking soda, for my baths, for my detox baths. Okay, so I can still function here in Central California. But I noticed that everybody is quieting down, which is what President Trump is trying to achieve, to get everybody to just cool it and don't mix as much and set up some social distance so that the flu, whatever variety of the flu we're talking about, is not transmitted as easily. Now, the scuttlebutt is that 5G and 6G exacerbate and activate this flu virus. And so what I did was call my ISP and beg them, on the basis of that I'm a little old lady and I don't need fast service. And I begged them, and they did, in fact, step back my service from 5G to 2.4. And I'm feeling a lot better. Okay. Now, I don't know if you have the opportunity to do that the way I did, but it's something you can at least give some consideration to. All right. And so what is happening, the announcement was made, I believe it was last night or this morning, that Google is no longer suppressing and censoring links to conspiracy theory data. And so you can now see what has been posted under Pizzagate, under adrenochrome, under maybe even Cannibal Restaurant. All right. These topics are no longer verboten, no longer blocked. This implies that Google has flipped its loyalties from the high-tech deep state to the white hat correction process that QAnon is discussing. All right. This is some really good news, that the process of correcting systemic corruption in the Department of Justice and the FBI and the CIA and the DIA and the State Department is proceeding forward, because the cases of deep state gun running, money laundering, child sex trafficking, and human slavery have risen to the top. The scum has risen to the top of the body. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. And this is what we can pray to God to bring to manifestation the correction of the protection racketeering, the divide and conquer mentality of the mainstream media, which has an agenda of its own, of the tequila treachery, double speak, double dealing of government agencies that are committed to stuff like regime change and proxy wars for profit. And those forms of corruption are the reason why there are so many representatives in the House of Representatives and senators who've become wildly wealthy, become extremely wealthy in terms of their personal fortunes, to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. You can look at the testimony of people who talk about Feinstein, Pelosi, the Brown family, all right, and Newsom, okay, in California, and other nests of profiteering legislators in other areas, particularly Chicago, New York. All right. Now, New York is under a form of lockdown. I haven't gotten any feedback yet from my family who are on the East Coast about lockdown there. But looking at Watched Walker and the other people who walk around the city and film the city just so we can see what's going on, it looks as if it's not terribly severe, the lockdown in London, New York City, Paris, and so forth. All right. But the lockdown is serving a good purpose to keep disease from spreading and to keep people home and not mixing too much. It's not a bad thing to bring a halt to commerce and shop until you drop and retail therapy. And yes, it's hard on the businesses, and I understand that President Trump is acting to salvage the businesses that are being whacked in this quagmire. Okay. We have reason to believe that the corruption is being addressed. And this is probably the best news that we in the United States have had in many decades, because the corruption has been going on since the assassination of JFK. It's almost over. We're coming to the end of it. Now, I have had 2 reports of individuals who experienced a laser light from the sky and bam, they were gone. I don't know what to call it. In Christian dogma, it's called rapture. In metaphysical dogma, it's called ascension. But perhaps that's the experience that a few kind-hearted good souls are having right now. I'm always willing to hear more events like that. All right. And so here we are on Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th. And it looks as if we have come over the tipping point and things are beginning to turn around. And the deep state is facing its own doom. They've been in charge too long. They have turned the United States into a fascist, top-down dictatorship from over the heads of Americans. And now this is coming to an end, coming to a close. Keep our country and the white hat leaders who follow the president's direction in your prayers. We're going to get through this. I hope you have what you need, and I hope you have the sense to keep your family close. And this is going to be something to tell our grandchildren, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Good luck. Thank you. Bye-bye.